All right, so on to some other stories now. Programs Manager of Youth Bridge Foundation, Douglas Corte, has blamed the African Union for failing to galvanize support of the continent's population on Agenda 2063, a shared framework for inclusive growth and sustainable development. The agenda is intended to drive Africa's development and transform it for the next 50 years.
Agenda 2063 was adopted by heads of state and government of the AU at their 24th Ordinary Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia in January last year. The agenda is a call for action in all segments of the African society to work towards a prosperous and united Africa based on shared values and a common destiny. While the SDGs are global, Africa's Agenda 2063 is African-centered agenda, breaking from the past where development thinking on the continent was shaped by non-African agendas. However, it appears not all actors, both in government and civil society, are fully aware of Agenda 2063 and its critical role in shaping the future of the continent.
The AU is having such an agenda, and it's not done well in terms of popularizing it among the youth, who are going to be the people who, in the 50 years that we are looking at 2063, leaders, and who are the people who are going to even ensure its implementation, are not even aware now. How can they support its implementation? To what extent has the Ministry of Foreign Affairs mobilized young people and supported them in terms of even orienting them on the Agenda 2063 and what it stands for?
Touching on the African Youth Charter, a political and legal document which serves as the strategic framework for youth empowerment and development at continental, regional and national levels, Programs Manager of Youth Bridge, Douglas Corte, called on the AU to actively involve the youth in decision-making.
The AU structure as it is good. We can move it further if the youth are made central, the issues of the youth are made central, and a lot more young people are involved in the decision-making processes at the AU. We think these are some of the things that has to be done, because so then we can hold them accountable, then we can also track progress that has been made.
Let's go on to the phone lines now and speak to Samuel Brimer. He is a policy analyst and has studied the continent of Africa quite extensively for some years now. We want to find out from him what the relevance of the AU Day is. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much for your time.
Good afternoon, Martin, and good afternoon to your listeners.
To start with, are we in a good position to celebrate African Union Day? Is there even a unity as being preached by some?
I think we should celebrate the AU Day, not just looking at unity, but looking at the structural arrangement we put in place in 2002 and some of the policies that the AU has pushed that African governments can use to guide their policy direction and their development work.
Right. And from where you start, from where you stand, what is there to celebrate?
There are three things. One, the AU now has a commission that is based in Addis. That's more like administrative headquarters. Then they have the executive, and they have the Assembly of Heads of State. You will realize that in 2002, they put in a policy known as the Comprehensive African Agricultural Development Program. A number of African countries subscribed to it. That was supposed to give African countries direction in developing their agricultural policies and forcing African countries to contribute a minimum of 10% of their public budget to agriculture. Before that, countries just did what they did, but at least there is a guideline and a plan that African countries should follow. In terms of security, the issue where African countries just sat down and watched other African countries kill each other has passed.
Right.
Now, the non-interference policy under the OAU has now been changed, and African government can step in terms of political upheaval in each other's countries. So you will see the intervention of the AU mission in Somalia, the AU mission in Mali, although Mali was heavily dominated by the French forces. And you can see what happened when the coup d'etat happened in Burkina Faso. The AU came strongly in, and it was difficult to hold power with us from the AU.
Okay.
That is on the side of security.
Well, my final question to you would be, what would you want to see that would inform the fact that, well, African unity is strong and has come to stay?
What I would want to see is an effort to break down the barriers that keep us apart when we are talking about coming together. I know the Ghana government has recently announced the no visa for African states. But I can tell you that it is more difficult to cross from Burkina Faso to Ghana than to drive between any European states.
Wow.
I've driven between Belgium, France, Germany, and you just pass through the border before realizing you are in the next country.
Okay.
We are creating barriers. And then the trade barriers. Recently there was a standoff between transporters, Ghanaian transporters carrying goods to Burkina Faso and the Burkina Faso government. They just introduced a tariff from nowhere, and Ghanaian truckers were stuck there with us to pay those tariffs.
Okay.
When things like that happen, it actually dampens the progress we are making in the African Union.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel Brima, for your thoughts on this special day, which is the African Union Day. He is a policy analyst and also has monitored the continent's development quite extensively in the last few years. This is still Midday Live on TV3.